Well, welcome back everybody. I hope we're all doing very well today. It is a nice early start again. We are currently just about to get on with some spreading of the black stuff this morning. I just finished up feeding up the cattle about 20 minutes ago. And now we've hitched up the Hi-spec tanker, and yeah, we're going to spend the day spreading fertilizers of a varying different sorts really. We've got the slurry on this morning whilst it's still kind of dry on the land here, and then we've got to get all of our grassland covered with this, and we've also got to get some more nitrogen, phosphorus and some pre-emergent or post-emergence down on the oilseed rape. So we're going to have Chris out on that, I believe, this morning. But anyway, we'll start up our slurry tanker here and we'll see what we can get going. So let's see. Disengage that. And there we go. So we've got quite a, when you have, what do we got now, 53 head of livestock, there's always going to be a large amount of slurry produced. Quite often you find the difficult challenge with that is being able to actually get onto the fields to apply it. So we usually get out here in the colder starts to the morning. Particularly if it's a little bit frosty, that always helps to keep the mess you make to a minimum. This is one of our silage fields. We'll be cutting this again for silage bales in the late spring. We cut about, it fluctuates, but around 60-70 acres of silage, first cut for bales. Then we do about 40 cuts, second cut of silage bales, and then on the third time, and the remaining 30-35 acres will always be hay. And then depending upon how much hay we get off, we might make a third cut, which would just be hay there. But yeah, we always like to see what we can get, and it's important to me to be able to try and salvage as much organic matter really, and put that back into the field to help the growth, which is exactly what we're doing here today. So yeah, as you can see, the crop's a little bit thin. The grass is only just starting to grow back now after a bit of a cold snap of late. But we're in good growing conditions at the moment, so we can't be too concerned. Just go down this corner. We will be finishing. We're just going to go direct to the pit for this field because it's just around the corner. But we are going to go a little bit further afield. So I've got the slurry lagoon hooked up to my bigger Valtra, and we're going to go and park that in the corner of the field as well, just to mean that we can kind of proceed with this a little bit faster and more efficiently, which is always important. So we've finished up all of our sowing. You may have seen in previous videos, everything has been completely established now. The sugar beet is coming away very well. The last of the barley we sowed after the slurry injection has got a good start as well, looking very promising there, which is always nice. So for the moment we're in a good place there. Everything is in. It went in relatively dry conditions, all things considered, so we shouldn't have any worries in terms of seed germination there, which is very nice. But the big news is that we're very relieved about right now is that our TB tests have returned, and thankfully we have passed, all of our livestock passed with no signs of any TB markers, which is fantastic news. It's always with a heavy heart when you say that, because I know so many people have been affected by and are still being affected with TB, so it's a sense of relief more than anything that we're not going to be subject to any quarantines or restrictions on movement, and we can continue to sell our milk as well, which is always fantastic news. Albeit the price of milk isn't great, it still means that there is a source of income which we do rely upon. Okay, so we're just about empty. We're going to probably not make it all the way back. So we'll just get off here and we'll go and fill up with some more slurry. So just waiting for Chris to come in this morning. We're probably going to set him off in the sprayer, I think. It's a huge puddle of water here. I don't know where this keeps amassing from. But yeah, we'll get Chris set away as well so he can go out in there and get some work done. We'll get the slurry pipe set up and we'll be back in here in a second. Okay, so our slurry pipe is in. As you can see here, the Hi-spec tank here, just the vacuum tank pumps straight in from the slurry pit, which is always good news. Quite often we'll leave a pipe here as well, so we don't have to keep pulling this one in and out, because obviously you can imagine it gets pretty filthy. But we'll go back in and we'll get this filled up very quickly. Cows are all enjoying being outside for the time being, at least. They probably won't get to start for too much longer before the weather really turns cold. We'll have to bring them back in. But they are consuming as much fresh grass as they can get their hands on at the moment, which is always good news. I'm going to shut this gate. Left it open from filling up the water tanks this morning. This little voucher, regardless of what people's opinions of vouchers may be, is an absolute pocket rocket. 4-cylinder engine in there, turns on a sixpence, still churns out. This one's chipped up to a 170 horsepower thing. Absolute beast of a machine. Okay, just about there. So how's everyone doing today? How are you feeling? What jobs are you getting on with yourself? If you are back on the farm, let me know how your day's going. Let's disconnect this. Perfect. Big shout out to everyone so far who's been in touch with me. Let me know any feedback, and also kind of give me an introduction really to this whole YouTube life, really, I suppose, and also that of just kind of give me feedback on what they're doing, what they're up to at the moment, and how you guys are all going about your day, which is always interesting. Well, that's always interesting to me, at least. This little spring here, I don't know where it keeps bubbling up from, but I've drained this and it will never disappear. Okay, let's get over there again. So we'll just complete this headland here, then we're going to try and we'll get some runs going here as well, just to make it a little bit easier. And it's always nice to have an excuse to fire up the drone. Remember to try not to cover the flat roller down the bottom corner here. So this is probably treatment 1 on this grass, I would say. What tends to happen, or what I tend to do at least, and try to do, is get at least one cover of slurry on each grass field that we're going to cut, and then we'll see how it fares over the winter, early spring, and then we'll put some nitrogen on here as well in the spring, just to give it an extra kick before silage. And we'll see how we fare up after that. That's usually enough for it to get through for the first cut. Once the first cut's done, we'll put a bit more slurry on there just to give it a little boost for a second. And that's typically good enough really for what we want. So we're just going to square this line off here, and I'll come back and do the ends when we're getting towards the end of the field. What I will do now though is the good old trusty favourite time lapse, just to get this field done, because it's not the quickest and you're going to get tired of listening to me ramble on. So yeah, I'm going to set the drone up in here, and we'll see what we'll follow some of the action here, and I will come back to you in a little bit. Okay guys, so we just filled up the tank again. What I'm going to do now is just kind of get this field finished off. I don't want to bore you with the same thing. At the risk of getting a little repetitive. So we'll get this all finished up, and then we'll catch up with you later when we move on to different fields with bringing the slurry lagoon in there as well. So yeah, I'll catch up with you when we're done. Well, welcome back everyone. We have done a bit of a shift around. We are now, Matt is now spreading in another field, the one that we'll be taking silage off of. So I'm going to take the lagoon over there, which is about 2/3 full. And then we're also going to get ourselves set up there, and Chris is out in the spirit at the moment, so we'll catch up with him, see how he's looking. But yeah, in the meantime, we're just going to take this, the lagoon up to the field there. We might need to fill the lagoon up actually with the Bowser. We'll see how we get on, because we're going to put quite a bit out. They're going to apply this quite liberally, so we'll see how we get on there. But this will keep Matt going for a while anyway. Now once Chris is finished in the field he's in at the moment, I'm gonna probably take the sprayer off him and go and finish up a bit of sugar beet. Spraying it. There's obviously those 2 fields we established the other day. Want to get a little bit of protection against some pests and beetles. There's Chris going there nice and slowly. Perfect. So what I'll probably do is just put the spouser of the lagoon here. Where is he? Let's go for see. So as you can see, it's got a little bit of growth to it already, but we're just going to give it that extra little bit of a boost. Some organic matter on there, which is always good. Oh, there he is. There's a little bit of organic matter still in the ground from the last harvest there, but that won't do anything too bad. Let's go, without getting too close, let's have a look and see how Matt's getting on here. Lovely stuff. Okay, so let's go back to the tractor. We're probably going to hook up the bowser now as well. Let's fill that up so we can keep the system moving. Last thing we want to do is delay anybody. We'll head back to the barn. Check over the field. There's Chris still ticking along. Perfectly. So what we're doing at the moment with the oilseed rape is we're putting the second treatment, or what I call the post-emergent pesticide on there. What that does is it protects against a few things. A few of the beetles, such as flea beetle, that are known to come and try and really attack the stem and the roots of the plant. So it kills off those, gives each plant a fighting chance of growing through this stage. A little bit of fertilizer in there as well, just to sustain its growth. But predominantly, it's more of a pesticide. We will come back through there. That field's going to get a couple of doses of nitrogen, phosphorus on there, probably in a couple of weeks, just to give it that last little kick through. But yeah, so overall, it'll be it's a very vital treatment. The problem with rape that we have, as I've mentioned previously, is that this is it's a lot of outputs. It's a high demanding crop, which means that in its infancy in the ground, we do need to put a lot of herbicides, pesticides, fertilizer on there just to give it a fighting chance of growth, really. So that will always require it's a high expense to the grower as well. So when we have poor harvest, when the yields are down, we very rarely will gain that back. But what we're going to do, we're just going to take the dolly, get this filled up. Dollies are never the easiest of things to reverse, especially when this one has a rear steering axle as well. Doesn't make for any fun. Straighten that a touch more. There we go, we've cracked it this time. A little bit further there, not too much. Okay, so we're gonna just take this back up to the field. We're gonna go straight out this entrance at the top. I think a nice wide swing out into the road. Make sure my lights are on. If I can get this muddy track that is. easily does it. On the way back to the field. Matt's has filled up from the lagoon there, so he's back into the field and pushing through. We'll pop a bit more into there anyway, just so we can keep on going. And yeah, we'll be in a good place to get this all wrapped up soon, hopefully. Chris has finished that first field of rape, and he's probably just going to push through into the next field along there. Get that one done, and then he'll be done on the sprayer for the day. Let's swap positions with him. You see, Matt's pushing through, making some good coverage actually. Fill up the overloader. We'll probably just put the drone up the stage and watch Matt for a little bit, I think, while this is unloading. And then we'll, next time you see me, we're going to jump straight into the sprayer, I think, and we'll get some spraying knocked out for the rest of the day. Welcome back everybody. As promised, we moved on a little bit and we've also moved vehicles. I am in my sprayer once again. We're just heading back down to the sugar beet land at the very south of our farm really now. Although it has kind of extended the boundaries a little bit. So yeah, we're going to head down there. I've got a little bit we're going to put on this pesticide really, just to stop any little wanton bugs or beetles from having too much fun on the newly planted sugar beet. The boys are still spreading slurry, so they're cracking on just in the 2 grass fields on our left here. So they've got plenty to do. So we're just going to make our way down there. There's not a lot of land there to spray really when you're considering you're going at it with a 36-meter spreader, so this shouldn't take too much time. Just something nice to get done for today. Give that sugar beet an extra little boost. It's going to take a time. These narrow lanes aren't the most fun when you're in a sprayer, particularly if you meet someone coming the other way. Sprayers are fantastic on the fields, doing what they do, but they kind of want to lurch and move about when you're on the road, so you just got to take your time. We've got to be extra careful with the slurry spreading that we don't put any of it directly into that water course. Any pollution there can be a real issue for ourselves and for the environmental agency. That's a little track up to some forestry, I believe, up there. I've not quite had a look in there yet. We'll get around to it at some point. Yeah, here we are. So I'm not quite sure what happened down the bottom corner here by the train line. Didn't quite wrap it up as neatly as one would have hoped, but you know, overall it's a very evenly planted crop. I'm very happy with how it's gone in. No issues there for the most part. And we're just going to swing into here. Swing it there and get this beast unfolded, I think. Set the height for the crop a little bit lower than that. Alright, now where we go. So we're going to try something a little bit new when we come to harvest this. Usually when I've planted sugar beet in the past, I'd come directly in behind the harvester and plough the green in there, but we're not going to do that this time. What we're going to do is we're going to disc in any of the foliage and then immediately plant a cover crop of radishes, because we're going to try and reduce the amount of ploughing we're doing. Considering these fields were just ploughed, we're going to leave that. So the idea is that the radishes will be able to aid the soil compaction, and also, you know, continue to capture nitrogen, plant that back into the soil there, but also that the organic matter that we're disking in there will be able to have some time to rot away into the soil before we come in to plant the spring barley. So that's the end game, at least. So it's going to be a little bit different. It'll be interesting to see how that works and how the detritus on the top rots over the course of, we'll give it maybe 6-8 weeks, and from then on obviously we'll come back in and direct drill in some spring barley on top. So it'll be very interesting to see how that all comes around, and if that's a successful approach we can take in the future, which I am hoping it is, because when we have to come back in and ploughing and cultivating on top then drilling is an extremely intensive operation, both in terms of the damage it does to the soil structure, but also the cost of operating the machines, cost of employing men to drive those machines, fuel costs on top of it. So it all does really add up. So if we can avoid doing that every time we want to establish a new crop, then that's obviously something that I'll be very happy to try and attempt. So what we do need to do is just get ourselves turned around. And there's only a very thin strip down the middle to go back after. All of it typically. So you can see the cover crop over the road that's coming along very nicely. We've got nice broad leaves on the radishes, so that's doing its thing. I couldn't ask for much more. We'll probably be coming in to drill that in about 2 weeks, I would say. We'll give it another 2 weeks just to get a full establishment, get some good root penetration there. That's what we're really after. And then some nitrogen modules below the ground as well, just to provide that nitrogen fix. And then we'll kind of come in, and that's going to get we'll try and get some spring wheat there, I think. See how that comes along. away we go. Oh, let's let them turn off the engine, of course. Just have to lift the boom up a little bit so we don't ground it out, because we are sloping down towards the train line here. Last thing we want to do is ground out the boom a bit like that. I've seen many an accident before where that happens. The operator doesn't see, and well, the damage is untold really. Very expensive. So what I'm going to do, I think we're just going to finish this field off here. Thank you all for patiently waiting along with me and enjoying the ride, hopefully. Please do let me know what you guys are up to. I'm very interested to hear how your farms are coming along and progressing. Let me know what you're up to in the comments below, and I will endeavour to always kind of look through those and reply when I can. I do like to reply to everyone, but sometimes I can't be there all the time. But yeah, please do let me know what you like and what you would like to see moving forward. Get off the side there. Like I say, yeah, please do let me know what you like and what you'd like to see moving forward there, and any feedback you do have. I do enjoy reading through all of those. And I will leave you guys here. We've got plenty to do coming up in the future as well. There's a few interesting phone calls I've had of late with some developments that we'll we'll keep you abreast of as and when they occur, but that's always going to lead to something interesting. So yeah, do keep in tune and figure out what well, join me for the ride, really, for the experience. As always, it's been a pleasure. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Do stay safe, enjoy what you're doing, but most of all, happy farming.